If you like spiders, this is the game for you. I can use all 8 of my legs to take us on a little adventure, plus I can even jump. I somehow screwed up changing my appearance and now I'm just a fluffy ball. A very helpful button for us to know is going to be R. That will remove web that's in our way. Every spider's natural predator, a pit full of electricity. So to get across, you can shoot webs wherever you want, probably not so much into the electricity but into other places. For this obstacle, we need to go up without touching the electricity, so we can just probably go straight to that one if we want. That was alarmingly simple, but things are going to get messy fast. Because we can also do things like this, where we shoot a web that way, we can anchor things and pull them around. We can create all sorts of fun shapes. Which brings us into our beautiful realm of chaos. I already see another spider friend over there, we should try and launch out the window. So webs seem like they can fire about that far, at least in one single thread. Now, he wants to race, but I'm pretty sure there's a chance we could find a way to attach him to the fan way up there and then turn the fan on. I pulled both the light switches down and opened the garbage can simultaneously. Unfortunately, it did not activate the fan, but I did find a potential spot to store a new friend. But unfortunately, it looks like I can't actually stick him with my web. A lot of the items do actually move when I mess with them, so this is good news. Reasonably sure if I stick a glass to the chair, it will pull the glass off the edge eventually and break it. Oh, it's so close. Okay, we'll grab with one more web. Down it goes. And we broke it all over the floor. Interesting. It turns out we do actually have some jobs to do. I already won the kitchen race because I was figuring out the controls. So for a little experiment, I've shot 6 webs from there to there. I want to tie them together somewhere right here. I can't remember how to do that. You just start going like that and they'll tie together. Because normally something like a bowl couldn't reach all the way up to there, but if we tie it to our web on the way there, it should eventually pull it, especially if we attach a few more webs, because I'm pretty sure the more webs, the more pulling force is going to be applied. So with enough webs, in theory, we could have about infinite force. Anyways, let's start with cleaning the floor. This kitchen was the scene of several murders, so we need to clean up the blood spatter, so we just need to find how to clean that. I was pulling really hard on the door handle and it actually might be moving. It did just make a sound, which is confirmation enough that if I click this enough times, eventually something fun will happen. Or the garbage can will pull out. Not entirely sure what I even just did. But the door handle doesn't seem to want to open. And I can actually ride on top of it. That's very interesting. Because in theory, that means if I attach my web to things, especially from a long ways away, we can pull ourselves around. And the further stretch we have on our web, the harder it pulls. So if we were to pull something to max distance this way suddenly, maybe one more there and one more over there, and then release this one, does it launch us? It does. We can make catapults. But I should probably finish my chores before starting on any other side projects. I've already put a lot of web into a lot of useless places. We'll give it a swing and launch this soap. We broke the bowl. I meant to get the wipe. We cleaned one more spot and finished the floor. Now I've got the soap in this situation. Bear with me, I have a plan. There's probably a simpler way of doing this, but I've had too much coffee to care right now, so we're just going to do it the good old-fashioned way that works, ultimately. So if we anchor the soap bar to right there, now I actually have a bit of a hinge point. Because in theory, everything I attach to that web is going to pull back on that. When I want to release it, I just delete that one. Feel like we're starting to build up some pretty good force. All of that though seems to be just stretching the web and not actually pulling the soap any closer. Like if I delete that now, the soap basically goes nowhere. So my dreams of making a soap missile need to go on hold. We're going to leave that right there in a safe place and move on to our next task, make popcorn. I assume this is a popcorn maker. We'll see if we can just... Okay, that clearly turns it on. So good, it's ready to go. We're going to turn it on before we plug it in, like an intelligent adult. And pretty sure that will just sort of make its way over there. Just needs a little bit of coaxing. The more web, the better. Just like anything. Especially when you're dealing with electricity. Perfect. So that's going. I think we forgot the actual popcorn part. Now, if I lived here, I would keep the popcorn way over there because I'm an idiot. A smart person would keep the popcorn probably near the popcorn maker. But I haven't actually checked if these cupboards open up top. Looks like they do. This has got to be a popcorn cupboard. It just makes sense. Okay, this cupboard is empty. We're going to try the next one. If we can make this jump. Please stick to something. Got it. Nope, that didn't work. I'm so happy I turned the popcorn maker on before finding a popcorn. That way I could listen to it beep for the rest of eternity. I found the rainbow crunchies. I wonder what happens if I bake those. Games like this are so full of awe and wonder. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and break that there, and the dino crunchies have made it 10% of the way there. But luckily the tow rating on this spider is enormous. The oven is open. We'll see if we can get the cereal in there. If we manage to actually lift it up with that, maybe we need an extra little bit of help. Pull it up a little bit harder. Then we'll cut the rope once it gets close. or we can wedge it under the door. That works too. Luckily, with a little bit of messy persistence, we can accomplish anything. So if we get rid of these ropes, the dino whatever will sit right in front of the oven. The only question now, top shelf or bottom shelf? Unfortunately, whoever was planning this started to bring the dinosaur thing in sideways, so it might actually be jammed. But if we grab it over here, we might be able to twist it in. Making progress. I think we got it. Just a few more of those. There we go. Perfect. And then we just close the oven door with all of our mighty web. Now that I look at it, I'm not entirely sure the oven turns on. Oh, it does turn on. Okay, great. Now that that's on, we're going to bake the dinosaur cereal. I haven't spent a lot of time cooking. Now, while that's hopefully waiting to be done, that might be the popcorn up there I've spotted, so we'll make our way up there. There is no popcorn here, but I did find this thing. He told me there's some tasty recipes in the cookbook. How to pizza. Well, I thought that was cereal, but okay. We actually can make some more advanced things. Butter, flour, and chocolate makes chocolate cookies. Okay, if you feel like doing that, we will. I'm more interested about burning living things, really. From my lovely vantage point, I realized that there's actually, I think, a piece of corn sitting right there, and that's probably something that would be helpful in making popcorn. So we're gonna try and swing our way over there like Spider-Man and drag that over to the popcorn maker or whatever that thing is. Oh, wish I saw this earlier. How to popcorn. You put either the whole kernel or seeds into the microwave or the frying pan. Apparently not whatever that thing is. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense as a popcorn maker, does it? I have no idea what that thing is. It's just there to annoy me. I do believe it said we could use the frying pan. So let's go ahead and drag that up onto here and get the party started. Come on. You can do it. When in doubt, a lot more web. Then find a way to maneuver it back into place so it's sunny side up. Okay, I got it perfectly in position. Let's finally get some corn. I mean, it says we're supposed to put the corn in the bowl. So let's put the corn into the bowl. Then again, I'm going to have trouble carrying the bowl with all the things across this gap because obviously stuff doesn't like to stick. But that's okay, I've already figured out the solution. I just drag this over here manually and then I stick it up above the frying pan and then cut the rope. I think that'll do it. Is that in there? Nope, it's coming back out. Alright, round 2. That is definitely in the frying pan. Make popcorn! It just disintegrated. I thought that would be a little more fun with the whole kernel being in there. Destroy 3 food items in the blender. I saw the blender over there. So let's get this thing to stand back up if we can. We'll try and hook it to over there. Might need a bit of force to get it actually up. Starting to go. And cutting the ropes now. Uh-oh, too far. Too far. Come back. I'm actually impressed with how difficult I'm making this one simple task look. Now we're just lifting the whole blender. But if I release these in the right order, I think it will stand back up and not do anything crazy. And then we can start dropping stuff in it. First things first, let's get it plugged in. You can pick whatever socket you want. You just go in there and give me some electricity. I've also just discovered something interesting. If I manually attach my web to something heavy and try and drag it, I can stretch these ropes pretty far. But then if I touch something, all that force of the web suddenly goes that way. Okay, it turns out eventually the things come with me. So if I go just a little bit further, I don't want the blender to fall, but I want to make this knife go flying. Okay, come on, get on the knife. Whee! Flying knife! Okay, good. Now we just need to decide what 3 items we want to destroy in that thing. Well, there's a room temperature piece of meat here that would love to go in a blender. So we'll send that over there while pulling the whole drawer out. That's perfectly fine because now we can just grab this meat and manually drag it up and over. There we go, that's working perfectly. Now go over to the blender a little more. Yep, there we go, we're getting closer. As long as I don't release it too soon, it'll be just fine. The meat's getting closer and closer and closer on its journey. Then I just delicately release some of these and then the meat should make its way even closer to where we want it. Actually, if I release these, it might actually be pretty close to exactly where we want it. The physics in this game seem pretty good, so I feel like if I go and just give it a little wiggle like this, I might be able to actually get it more or less right in there. That didn't work, so we're recalibrating our strategy just a touch. If we get the meat right up there, we're so close. If I release that, is it going to fall in or is it going to do something annoying on us? I guess I can always go like that, essentially. I've actually connected the meat to the blade, so it's going to pull it right into the blender, hopefully. Okay, so we release that and yeah, exactly what I wanted. And now I can't even get down in there. Does that count? Can I blend that if it's like that? I guess I probably need to put the blender lid on. But then again, maybe not. Full speed ahead. Oh, the real problem is my masterpiece web over here. Did actually pull that in the wrong direction. There we go. Okay, well, it's definitely not blending the meat yet. I'm not sure you're supposed to be able to blend this, and I'm pretty upset about it. Gonna try just a slightly different angle. Oh, that might actually go in there. Yeah, I think it will. It's just not really shaped for a blender. So how do we do this? I'm going to actually crawl up there and just grab it with my web just to try and jostle it upwards a little bit. Yeah, over here. So if we grab it just a little bit and then let it go. Does that count? Why are you not blending yet? This is stressing me out. I want a meat smoothie. Get in there. You know what? You probably just need 3 items at once. So let's go add some other foods to the blender. This looks like butter. We're going to take the butter over there and we're going to put the butter into the blender as well. I'm hoping that if I grab it on a very short little leash, I can just walk right above and just plunk it right in because we're learning as we go. So we just got to wait for it to stop drifting. There we go. Okay, the butter blends. The steak doesn't. But the steak can stay there anyway. I worked hard to put it there. It's going to stay there. Bread is perfectly blendable and delicious. And okay, we missed it just a little bit. That's okay. We just wiggle the bread enough. It'll get right in there. That's so close. Little wiggle. Oh, that might be it. Little wiggle back the other way. It wants to go in there. Or we might have found another unblendable food. No, it is jamming this up. Okay, you know what? Meat, you've got to go. We're going to set the meat aside for a minute. And jiggle the bread just a little bit to see if it will go in. Okay, we're finding a smaller food. Eggs are definitely blendable. So we will journey the egg over to the blender and then we'll drop it in very gingerly. That looks about right to me. Egg going in. It actually blends. Should have brought 2. I've decided to bring what I can only assume is a pear because I think it's going to be fairly easy to maneuver. We'll just get it up and over this ledge if we can, and then we will figure out how to get it in the blender. I actually got it. Okay, that was nothing but a coincidence. Destroy 3 food items in the blender. We'll celebrate by jumping ourselves in. It just pushes us out. Well, it was worth our try. Working our way down the list, clean 3 plates. Do I wash them in the sink with some soap and water? This seems like it's an easy task. You turn on. There's another one of these ball things. I think that's actually just a water ball. Not entirely sure what we do with that. Don't care right now. That's got to plug the sink so water goes up. Then we got to put some plates probably into the sink. You go there. That one might have broken. These also might break, but didn't say they have to be intact plates. It turns out that's all you need to do to clean plates. So next time you're told to do the dishes, just drop them in a sink full of water and then you're done. Making a pizza seems like the natural option at this point. The oven's been warming up for like an hour now. You know what? I'm a little bit curious about the egg. So if we let that go there, does it break? It sure does. The pizza is all the way up on the table, so we are definitely going to have a bit of a task to get the pizza all the way to the oven. I think the best strategy to begin with is maybe to create a better web system. So maybe we could actually just branch off whatever this old thing was. Whoops, wrong button, and take us up here. And then when we get closer up here, this isn't really working yet, but maybe this still has hope. Okay, so if we can connect it up to anything, what can I reach? Okay, we got the fan involved, so now we just got to connect some of the dots. Can we reach back to that? We can. We can, but the game doesn't like this very much. Okay, now we're starting to connect up to this one, so we got a bit of a pulley a little bit closer. Now if we connect from there to here, good. That beautiful creation should be a pretty decent pizza launcher. It would be nice to actually start it there. We got a few more webs to connect. If I just started here, we can actually build this sort of like a real spider web. So connect all the middle pieces, and that's probably pretty good. Got to be careful to grab it in the center, and we can reach. Lift off. We just got to connect a whole bunch of these, and the pizza's on the move. There we go. Now we just got to anchor ourselves to anything we can. Soon as we can reach something a little bit closer, we'll keep pulling that way and inch our way to that oven. This is working out way better than I thought it would. Though I'm not really sure what the pizza's doing behind me. We're just going this way for now. I turn around and the pizza is nowhere to be seen at this point. That's a little worrying. I don't know what happened. There it is. I would assume what happened is it's being held back by too much force. But what we can do in that note is actually disconnect it and pull it here and to start manually pulling the pizza itself rather than whatever we were just holding on to. While also releasing some of the old ones that were holding the pizza back, although we don't want to lose too much elevation. But to make sure we don't, we're going to connect up to something solid to give us a little bit more height. In fact, once we can reach the roof, if we can, we'll attach to that, which is close. Okay, never mind, we're not really allowed to attach to the roof, so we actually have to do this like a spider would and go to one anchor point, then try and reach over to the other, which can't actually be done. Although I'm no quitter, we're going to get a spider web between these two things. Same principle, just the same way as spider would. So we go up here now, and then we reach back and pull that one across, and then we pull ourselves closer. Before you know it, we'll have a bridge. The best part is, this is taking so long to do that I can't remember why we're doing it in the first place. Oh yeah, we're putting the pizza in the oven, so we need to start probably rebuilding all of that. And now we've got a little bit more anchor point to pull to, so we can pull the pizza further this way. I still need to connect something up here though, I left some pretty big gaps. This is perfect because I don't really have to think that much, I just add more webs in the direction I want to go and it all just works out eventually. I feel like if we release just a few of these old ones holding the pizza, it will let the pizza go just a little bit closer to where we want it. Then we're going to keep it on its journey. Especially now, I can attach right basically to where we need the pizza. We'll even start pulling it down a little bit again. Now that we're sure to clear the oven door, we pulled it like a mile upwards. Just a little more. Perfect, just as planned. And all it took was like 3 or 4 webs. I have turned the oven off at this point because I assume I'm not going to be able to go in while it's on, or I'm going to get the blender treatment. But we're getting the pizza nice and close, just a few more webs and it will slide right on in here beside the cereal. And then we're going to have pizza cereal. Was the oven tray supposed to come out like that? Doesn't really matter. We'll go ahead and release the door and close it, and then we have one pizza ready to go. Oh, the oven actually closes itself, mostly. That's fairly handy. The oven door doesn't want to close, and I think it might be due to some of that stuff over there. That seems to be the problem. Okay, once we get that, is that closed? I think that was it. Okay, the pizza's ready to go. So we'll release that one, attach that over there. Try that again. Release everything here, because this is just a big old mess. Over there. There we go. We're cooking the pizza. As far as spiders are concerned, we are wildly successful. And just like that, we've accomplished everything on our list. But I've got one that's sort of on my personal list. I noticed that there's a lot of things at about this height, so I'm wondering if we can make a spider web that basically spans this so there'll be no more floor anymore. Basically, we're playing the floor as lava. We're going to make the floor disappear. The first thing we need to do is just build sort of a framework as far as we can reach, and then we can just start attaching things. And if we walk in circles like this, while keeping our mouse fairly steady, there we go. We're going to have a nice even layer of new counter space. The owner's going to be thrilled. I mean, who wouldn't want custom spiderweb countertops? The hardest part is going to be more so these big areas, but I could definitely get this accomplished. I've done it. I finally closed this gap. I gotta fill in the spaces a little bit, but we got a spider web all the way across the biggest gap. But the frame rate is starting to drop and my computer is starting to sound like the oven, so that's a promising sign. Something magical is starting to happen though. As the frame rate drops more and more and more, you're starting to see less of the gaps in the web, so it might actually just look like you're walking in snow at some point. Getting pretty close to the point of unplayable now. Not entirely sure why it looks like that, but I've got a lot of web down there across the entire span, so there's no more floor anymore. You can't even see it. I have no regrets for having done this with my precious, precious time.